we're kind of like over here, like in our own little world in a way, and then the group is kind of separated, even though we're still right there in the same proximity to each other. And I might start talking to her, and my wingman, by the way, is now disarming the obstacle, and is, you know, he's telling her like how great of a guy that I am. Oh man, that's my buddy. He's a big time YouTuber, man, or he's a rapper or something like that. Whatever she says, to kind of just relax, so that she's not worried that I'm trying to like hit on her friend and take her away or something like that. And at this point, what I want to do, because I've now negged the target and not given her that validation from the target's perspective. See, women, they always think that they're above men. And they only sleep with guys who they think are above them or on their level. So they only fuck guys basically across and up. And guys, you know, they dream about getting hot chicks, you know, that are out of their league, but those girls don't fuck lower value guys. They only fuck higher value guys, right? So at first, a woman always thinks that she's higher than you, but the idea is, because I'm dressed so well, I've talked to all these other people, and I showed up with other girls, my value in her eyes goes up a little bit, but still not as much as her. Like, she's a hot chick. You got to prove yourself to me. But I also negged the target and took away a little bit of her self-esteem. So now she's kind of down here, at least, you know, in her own psyche. So she starts kind of seeing us on the same level, but how do I make my value go up here? How do I start being a higher value guy in her eyes? Well, that's what we call a DHV, a demonstrate higher value. And what I do with that is I do what's called a DHV story, and I put in DHV spikes, demonstrations of higher value spikes. So this is a story that I like to do. I might be like, okay, hey, have you ever been out? I call this the Mary Jane Falls Gambit. Now, this is specific to Vegas because there is a place called Mary Jane Falls, and in this story that I tell, it's a quick little story. It takes like 30 seconds to a minute. But within 30 seconds to a minute, I can bring myself from here to here by embedding little bits of conversation that trigger the female's mind into believing that I am that higher value guy. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. So, and you can do this too. You just have to change up the location and the characters and things like that. So, she already sees that I'm with a buddy of mine. Right, and the idea is that this story contains three major elements. One, I'm going to basically talk about myself in the story as if I am the leader of the group. Okay, the story involves me, my buddy, and a girl named Sarah, who's a go-go dancer, right? So in this story, as soon as I mention Sarah the go-go dancer, it gives me more pre-selection. The girl starts saying, oh, not only is he with these girls, but he also has a friend named Sarah who's a go-go dancer. And when you say go-go dancer, nobody thinks of a fat, ugly chick as a go-go dancer. She's going to think she must be hot. So this guy has other hot chicks in his life. And the way I talk about myself in the story makes it seem like I am the leader. I'm the alpha male. So the story basically goes like this. I'll be like, hey, so are you an adventurous girl? You seem like an adventurous girl. Or are you an outdoorsy type of girl or more indoorsy? And she'll go, oh yeah, I like that. Have you ever been to Mary Jane Falls? And she might be like, oh my God, like I love that place. Or she'll be like, no, what's that? And I go, okay, so it's this awesome hike. You know, it's kind of like by Red Rock, but it's off a Blue Diamond or whatever. I can throw little details. It doesn't really matter. Just I don't memorize these little stories, you know, word for word. It's more concept for concept. So I'll be like, oh yeah, it's this awesome like waterfall. And it was crazy because, you know, I was with my friend Corey and my friend Sarah. She's like a goofball. She's a go-go dancer. And I'll just throw that into the story because now the girl goes, wait, Sarah? Who is that? Is that his girlfriend? Is that like, are they having sex? Like, what's going on here? And it starts triggering the woman's mind to be like, okay, like this guy has other women in his life. He must be attractive because if you have value for one woman, you can always have value for another girl. And she starts thinking, that value, I want some of that value. Like, why are other girls hanging out with him? So, again, like I said, these are called DHV spikes. So as soon as I say, I have a friend, Sarah, she's a go-go dancer, right? As I was talking, I gave a spike, a higher value spike in my conversation. And I'm going to talk a little bit more, and then I'm going to throw in another spike, and another spike, and another spike, and all those little spikes are what makes a woman's brain start thinking, oh, this guy is that higher value man. So again, yeah, I've got. We were at Mary Jane Falls. I was with my buddy and my friend Sarah. She's a go-go dancer. She's kind of a goofball. Anyway, all right, so I put that out. Got my little spike in there, and then I go. And it was so funny. It was our first time up there, and like literally like 2 minutes into the hike, she fell and she sprained her ankle. And now when you talk about it like that, then the girl starts. It starts to become an emotional conversation. I'm not talking about how's the weather, how's your night going. This girl, we were hiking, she sprained her ankle. The girl starts getting into the story. So you start kind of like manipulating the girl's emotions. Now she's getting into it, and you go, so, I was with my buddy over there, and I had to take charge of the situation, right? So another spike, I had to take charge of the situation. So I told my buddy, I was like, this is what we have to do, right? And that spike, what that means is it made me look like the leader. Right? So in terms of, again, social stature, it made me look like the leader. Sarah's my goofball friend, who's hot, by the way, and my buddy, right? Or maybe even like a little higher value, whatever. But still, I'm like the top dog in this situation. And then I've got my friend and the girl. And I was like, yeah. I had to take charge of the situation, so I was like, hey, bro, like we've got to pick her up. We got to get her back to the car. We got to make sure she's okay. And then I'll even say something like, because, my friends, like I always look out for my friends just like they would look out for me. That's another little spike, because that makes it look like I am a protector of my loved ones. I am a protector and a leader in my group of friends. And when she hears that, she goes, oh, wow. So if I was out hiking with him and I fell, I could trust that this man will take charge of the situation and make sure that I'm okay, get me to the doctor or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I had to take charge of the situation. I told her basically grab her shoulders, I took her feet, and we got her back up to the car. Everything worked out okay, I got her to the hospital, everything was fine, and blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of go into another story. But just by that little story that takes about 30 seconds, I conveyed to her that I am a leader of men, I'm pre-selected by other women, I'm a protector of loved ones, and I have a really interesting life. I go to places like Mary Jane Falls. I go hiking. I go rock climbing. I'm out there living, doing it big. Like the girl's like, oh, wow. Like if I was dating him, I could be going on exciting hikes to, Red Rock and looking at waterfalls and going on picnics and things like that. So that's basically how you have to weave your conversation. You can't be like a guy who's just like, do you like coffee? Cool, I like coffee. So what do you like to do on weekends? TV? Or you like Netflix? Cool. Right? So it's very boring and mundane. That's how most guys talk, because that's how guys talk to each other. Guys don't. If a guy sat there telling me all these kind of details and crazy things, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, what are you trying to prove, right? But women, they're always looking in your conversation for what type of value, because women, they want men for different reasons. They want like what you can provide for them. What can you do for them? That's why it's so important when she sees me talking to the bouncer or to the owner of the club. When she sees stuff like that, it triggers in her mind value. She says, oh, who is that guy? He's connected to the owner of the club. I might be connected to the club promoter out here, the guy who got me on the VIP list. I might even mention in that conversation, so what do you think about this club? And she's like, oh, it's pretty cool. Now I might say something like, yeah, I know the promoter, like he's a buddy of mine, he gets us on the guest list, so we just kind of come down here and kick it sometimes, right? But that shows that I have connections. I'm connected to the club promoter. She saw me talking to the bouncer. She saw me talking to the owner. Now, like I show her with other girls, I'm letting her know that I have other girls in my life. So all this magic, it seems like magic, right? All this happens really within the course of like 5 minutes. We walked into the bar, we walked over here, we talked to those girls for fucking 2 minutes, and now we're over here. Now I'm talking to her. All this happened within 5 or 10 minutes, but that's how you create the attraction from these hot types of girls. Like the guy that's just walking around the club, like I said, in jeans and t-shirt, yeah, they all want to fuck her, but to her, she's just like, oh, these are just low-value guys. There's nothing special about these guys. But when, me, Mr. Cool, walks in with my shades and, fucking all this social proof and being able to talk to her in the way to demonstrate higher value fast and efficiently, that just takes her attraction mechanism in her head and just like puts it on haywire. All of a sudden she's like, wow, who is this guy? I want to get to know this guy. And again, always I'm keeping it chill because I'm false time constrained. Yeah, you know, I can't stay long. You know, I'm here with friends. Like, we can't stay too long. You guys just seem kind of cool. I just want to ask you this question. You know, what do you guys think about 6ix9ine or whatever? Everything in my conversation doesn't seem needy. It doesn't seem like, so do you want to hang out sometime? Like, can I get your number? Do you want to dance? Can I buy you a drink? It doesn't sound like how a low value guy talks. It sounds, it acts like how a high value guy. Everything is congruent. And so at that point, because all this stuff is in play, I've put in all these DHVs, I followed the process. At this point, now it's like, I could either play a little longer and be like, I could turn to the obstacle and be like, hey, you know, can I borrow your friend for a second? I just want to show her something real quick. I could go for an extraction and take her over here. Or at this point, because I've already done all this like value and stuff like that, I could just basically tell her like, hey, so anyway, we got to get going. Like, you know, we're meeting up with some friends. We're going out to this other club. But you know, we should definitely keep in touch. You guys seem cool. We're having a pool party barbecue next week. And so the girl will be like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. And at that point, I'll get her to kind of rejoin her friend right here. And I'll tell this other girl as well to kind of just get her into the vibe of things. I'll be like, hey, I was telling your friend, like, you know, me and my buddy, we're having a pool party barbecue next week. You guys are welcome to come. And even with these other girls, if they're still there, you could be talking to the whole group. By the way, you know, we're having a big pool party barbecue. You guys are all welcome to come. You guys seem cool. Let's trade information. I like to say trade information because it doesn't sound like I'm asking like, hey, can I get your number? It just sounds like, yeah, let's keep in touch. Let's trade information. I'll text you the details for the party. So she gives you her number. This girl gives you a number. This girl, this girl, this girl, right? So I just got 5 phone numbers all in one group, right? And it was very non-threatening because I didn't try to get just the target to come back to my house to watch Netflix. I asked the whole group, hey guys, yeah, we're having a pool party. You guys seem cool. You know, we got to bounce, but you know, you guys are all welcome to come. You know, bring some friends. It was very low key. Now, it doesn't mean that we're actually ever going to have a pool party or barbecue. That's irrelevant. You know, you might not even have a pool, but they don't know that. It's just a way to get all the phone numbers, especially your target's phone number, into your phone. Because what you want to do is you want to start building your sales funnel. You start building these leads, right? Get those phone numbers. Boom. You never have to call any of these other girls back. You got her number. That was the whole point of all of this, to get the hot girl's number and to put her into your funnel. Right? So after you get her number, then you guys dip. Whew. Go to the next club. Go out here into the casino and start talking to other girls.